Hello everyone, welcome to another award-winning edition of the Locker Room Chat. My name is John Williams. I'm joined tonight by my co-host in the middle, superfan Eric Oakes.
Ready.
And down on the end, the man behind the camera, Matt Hagan.
Yeah, normally behind a camera, Wednesday's in front of a camera.
So welcome guys, and it's a pretty cool promo right there. Props to Brad for showing that. And you know, guys, it's here. It's high school football time in Tennessee.
Praise the Lord. I was scared it wasn't going to happen.
Right, it's still a day by day, week by week.
Yeah. There's only so much fishing a man can do. We need some football.
Right. Kick off tomorrow night. It's Gibbs at Halls in the rivalry Thursday game of the week. And also across the state, there is 4 more games. We have Upperman at Cookeville. That'll be a battle there. That's games that are two schools that are pretty close to each other. Also Laverne at Rockville, Shelbyville at Tullahoma, another rivalry game. And that's the games for tomorrow night. And there, as you saw on the screen, some of the games coming up for Friday night. There's also been some games canceled this week. At Bearden earlier in the week, having to postpone at least the first 2 games against West and Maryville due to the COVID-19. Matt?
Yeah, I know the players are disappointed for that, and the fans are disappointed as well. But they've got to keep safety in mind. They got to make sure the kids stay healthy as well.
Right, and they're probably not too. I'm sure they wanted to play, but that's 2 pretty tough games to open up the season with West and Maryville. Also, games canceled in the area. CAK was supposed to play a volunteer. Of course, the Clinton Dragons will play a CAK next week. The CAK's picked up Daniel Boone, Eric.
Well, now, Daniel Boone's one of those teams that one year they may be gangbusters, and the next year it may be 3 yards in a cloud of dust. You can't ever tell. It's like that kind of reminds me of one of those old Gatlinburg-Pittman teams. You never know what you're going to get.
They've been pretty tough the last couple of years going to the playoffs. They've had some pretty good records.
Bunch of corn-fed country boys up there.
They're in the same region with Central, 2-time defending champions, South Dole. Well, they're not in that same region, but they usually play them. They're sort of the opposite region.
Does South Dole got that stud back this year? Or did he graduate?
He graduated. Elijah Young, he's now at the Missouri.
Yeah, that's a hard lick to take for any South school. He was a beast on the field.
The good thing for that, his little brother's on the team. His little brother's just as fast as he was. I watched them both play last year against Seymour. And unfortunately, that game, Elijah got ejected in the second or third play. It was overturned. His little brother stepped in and rushed for over 100 yards right away.
Sounds like there's good things coming for South Dole then.
Also, the defending Class A champions, Lake County, they've had to cancel their first 2 games due to the virus. They're scheduled to play Union City and Crockett County, so Lake County also having to postpone. Also, I know Cheatham County, down around outside of Nashville, had to postpone, having to quarantine their players as well. So,
Hey, John, you were mentioning Bearden. Which games did they cancel?
First 2 games.
Which were
West and Maryville.
They have rescheduled the Maryville game for September 18th. They will be. So they're going to open the season at Dobbins Bennett, at Bradley Central, and then versus Maryville.
Okay, that's good news.
So they've only lost 1 game so far this season.
All right, because that's a region game, so I definitely want to play that. Of course, Maryville, they haven't lost to a Knoxville school. It's quite a while. I think Halls was the last team to beat them. That's been in the early 2000s, I think.
Does Alcoa count?
No, it's not a Knoxville school, so it's only
Okay.
Yeah,
it's only Knoxville.
you have to ask about it though.
But we're going to go ahead and look at, last week we previewed Class 1A through 4A, and today we're going to look at Class 5A, the Clinton Dragons and the Oak Ridge Wildcats. Of course, we just watched the show, Coach Joe Gaddis' show. I'm sure he filled you in on the Wildcats, but we'll touch on them as well. But we'll start out with the Clinton Dragons. Matt, head coach Darrell Keith in his first year.
Yeah, he's in his first year. He had 2 years over at Todd County. Took Todd County from losing seasons to the playoffs in both years. They're running a mixture hybrid offense. It's going to be between a pistol and a pro usually, but mainly it's a pistol offense for them. They've got several returning players from last year, 6 on offense, 5 on defense. Eli Deshawn, Nate Murphy coming back. Yeah.
Let's see
Tony.
that there.
Yeah, Tony Colston and
First year coach Tony Colston back at his alma mater. That's really an upgrade for the Dragons.
Yeah, Tony and Coach Justin Burham also. He came from Shelbyville. He's helping out with the offensive line as well. They have a multiple defense. Not sure what they're actually going to run this year. Have some really good players coming back. Nate Murphy, after suffering the season-ending injury during scrimmage last year, where he had a compound fracture, he's back. Eli Deshawn, Connor Moody, Trace Thackerson will start the game against Anderson County. Trace will start because he's got the game experience. Defense, Connor Moody is another big one to look at. Cole Tedora, Nate and Eli. Those are the bigger ones that have come back so far.
Talk a little bit about Nate Murphy, that young man, what he went through and how he's rehabbed and he's came back better and stronger.
Oh yeah, Nate Murphy, who I know is listening in right now. I know he's doing better. He's so happy about it. It was about a year ago last week. We were scrimmaging Greenback. I was actually at that game. He went, caught the ball, ran 60 yards, was tackled in the end zone, clean tackle. But when he landed, he snapped his tibia, and the bone actually did penetrate the skin. He was down for about 10 minutes. Greenback Fire came in. They stabilized him. He went to UT, overnight surgery, and he's been working his way back. He's got his speed back. He has his hands. He's been wanting to come back. He's been chomping. He wanted this game. This is the way he wanted to come back, is he wanted to play AC for his senior year.
Now, right, that young man, just hats off to him, and good luck to him in the future. And
have you heard anything about this transfer stud quarterback they got rolling in there that may get some playing time this year?
You mean for Clinton?
Yeah.
It's not really a transfer. It's actually Coach Keith's son. He came in. He's going to be a freshman. Josh is a really good freshman. He's got some speed on him. He's got power. He can run the option well. But Trace is the starting quarterback right now. He is QB1. Josh is QB2. We don't know if they're both going to see time against AC. It might just be Trace. We don't know how it's going to go just yet.
Let's talk about defensively for the Dragons. Had some transition here in the off season as far as the defensive coordinator position. Matthew Gaskins taking over as the defensive coordinator. He's been coaching at Rockwood for quite a while, I believe. So he's stepping into that DC role.
Hey, he's stepping in. Coach Keith is also stepping highly with defense because he's more of a defensive coach. They've been going through all sorts of looks, so I'm not sure what they're going to run. The big players that are coming back, other than, like I said, Connor Moody, Eli, and Nate, you've got Devin Monroe, who's a good lineman, Gavin Bollinger. You'll have Connor at one of the linebacker positions, along with Cole Tedora, both juniors, both really outstanding juniors that have speed and they have a nose for the football.
And the Dragons opening up on Friday night at their arch rival, the Anderson County Maverick. It's a daunting task for the Dragons and Coach Keith in his first game, but he's really looking forward to it. I think the team is as well, so I'm anxious to see how the Dragons do Friday night.
Not to put down on, but that's not the arch rival. Oak Ridge is Clinton's arch rival. It has been since the late 50s when Oak Ridge played their first game against Clinton.
I think Clinton's got two rivals, two arch rivals. And I'm an old school Dragon, and when I was in school, it was Oak Ridge. No doubt about it, Anderson County wasn't a school. But now
Yeah.
I believe if you polled the players, I think it would be AC. If they had to beat one of the two, I think they would pick Anderson County. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's really, I think just because they're in the same community pretty much. They go to school, play ball with each other, and I just think AC sort of surpassed Oak Ridge a little bit on the rivalry scale.
Now, do you think that the way that coach is coming in first year, changing everything around, getting these kids motivated and fired up for a brand new start, a bunch of seniors coming in that really want a piece of Anderson County, and this ain't a knock on Clinton, but Anderson County's they've held the reins in this rivalry for a while now.
They have held the reins. They've won every game since 2009, since the playoff game in 2009.
And could Clinton sneak up on them and show them up at home?
Clinton, they can. They have a really good team coming in. Not sure how. I'm not expecting a blowout in this game on either side. I'm expecting a close game this year.
Anderson County, the coaching staffs, they're really high on the team this year for the Mavericks. They're saying it's probably their best overall team they've had since Coach Gillum's been there. So Anderson County, they're in that title hunt, state title in 4A, and they're looking to get past Greenville and to get to Cookeville.
Well, that ball, it ain't round. It bounces in funny directions sometimes.
Yeah, it does. And if you remember last year's game between Clinton and Anderson County's offense scored 10 points against Clinton last year. It was the defense and special teams that that pulled away. Mm-hmm. They had two big throws. They led to a touchdown and a field goal. The others were a block punt and a kickoff return for a touchdown.
Still 2/3 of the game.
It should be a really good game Friday night. Capacity is limited to 2,000 fans, I believe, so it'll still be a good atmosphere there at Anderson County.
Yeah, Dylan just handed us those guidelines right here. It says it's 1/3 stadium capacity, which is about 2,000 stands and seating on the track. Attendees may bring chairs with rubber feet to sit on the track. Clinton also says Clinton has 2,000 stands. Stadium bleachers will be marked off for seating based, and no tailgating on campus. One thing that if you are still wanting to go, there are still tickets available online, or they're on I know for Clinton's, they are on the Clinton High School Facebook page. There's a link to buy the tickets online.
Now, here's my deal. I guarantee you, at a playoff game sometime in the past, say when Greenville rolled in there, they've had over 4,000 people in that stadium. Guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, it's probably seats about 6,000.
That's what I'm saying. But
it's going by one third of capacity, which is 2,000.
They're going to bankrupt these schools if they don't let them. I know I'm politically incorrect, but we need to open this up and let them play. If you're going to let them play, let them play.
Yeah, the TSSAA is not. They're giving some guidelines, but they're not telling the schools how many they really could let in. I mean, it's up to the schools to govern themselves, and they're just trying to be on the safe side.
And then another change that you are going to notice, and this is for across the board for the games, the away team will not have a band. It has been decided that the bands will not travel to away games.
Oh, not is going to hate that.
But they're going to try to get as many as they can in there in Anderson County. I'm sure Gary Terry, the AD there, he's going to do all he can to fill it up. He's putting bleachers on the track, and it will be a festive atmosphere, I'm sure, with fireworks and all. But right now we're going to take our first break, and we'll be back to look at the Oak Ridge Wildcats. You're watching the Locker Room Chat.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-thru for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
Football is back, and OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Subaru, providing exceptional customer service is what we do best, and we've got the awards to prove it.
We've been recognized as Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. And again this year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. At Earl Duff Subaru, we're more than just a car lot. We're a retailer you can love and one that gives back to local causes. Check out our reviews that come to Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
All Outback, Forester, Ascent, Legacy, and Impreza models have available 0% financing during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Earl Duff Subaru.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry, plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
Welcome back to the locker room chat. And as you saw on the screen, the game of the week for BBB TV 12 is Kingston at Harriman. And we're trying to get Coach Tapp for the Harriman Blue Devils to call in here in a little bit and talk to him. But that's this rivalry here being renewed. Kingston has played Harriman 75 times, guys, and it's their longest running rivalry with any opponent. And Kingston leads that rivalry 46 wins, 27 losses, and 2 ties. Last year, Kingston defeated Harriman 21-12. And they've alternated wins the last 5 years.
Harriman had every chance in the world to win that game last year. Shot themselves in the foot. What'd they do? Turned it over on downs inside the 23 times, didn't they? I mean, and got an onside kick and still couldn't punch it in. I mean, that's Kingston fought hard to hold on, but I mean, but Kingston should dominate that series. I mean, they're so much. Well, they got three times as many kids to choose from. It's just Harriman and Kingston. It's one of them games where you just throw the record out the window because them boys is going to come to play, kind of like Clinton and Anderson County. I mean, a rivalry game is just a completely different ball game than a regular ball game. It's just different. There's a different feel going into it. There's a different mindset. There's a different level of excitement in the stands, which is going to be affected by low attendance. It's just that's what kills me, is that low attendance business.
That's what I like to see. Like in Roane County, all their county schools play each other pretty much, and Kingston's a 3A school, Harriman 1A, as you mentioned. They still play each other, and throw it out the window and you buckle the chin strap and you go at it. And you're going to see some other games in the county Friday night. You got Rockwood at Midway. Oneida's visiting Oliver Springs. Coalfield. Your Yellow Jackets at Wartburg. Pickett County's at Oakdale. Sunbright at Red Bowling Springs. At the top, as we mentioned, tomorrow night, Halls at Gibbs. And Oak Ridge is at Hardin Valley. And Campbell County at Cott County. So a good lineup of games right there. As we take our first call of the night, phone lines are open.
Go ahead, caller, you on there?
Hey, Eric, this is Coach Tyler Harper. How are you, bud?
Hey, good. How you doing?
Doing well, doing well. How's everyone over there tonight?
Outstanding. Hey, you kick off tomorrow night. How's that? How have you got your team prepared and ready to go?
I mean, like most coaches will tell you, the hay's in the barn. Now we just got to go out and execute. It's been a shortened practice, shortened preseason, I guess I should say, but I returned a lot this year. I had 15 eighth graders, so that always helps. But just, you know, it's been since July 20th when we started, we've got 16 practices. So going out there with a lot of unknown, I feel like. You always feel like a lot of unknown going into your first game, but this year more than ever.
This we're on with Tyler Harper, head football coach at Oliver Springs Middle School. Coach Harper, how long have you been coaching the Bobcats?
This will actually be my 9th year. I spent 6 years as an assistant coach under Larry Green. He's 3 years at the middle school and 3 years at the high school, and I'm entering my 3rd year as the head coach of the middle school program here.
As the Bobcats, what did you send up this year for Coach Green?
We have a couple of good kids that we sent up. We lost very few. I think I had, if I remember correctly, 6 or 7 eighth graders last year, and but out of that group, there's a few that's going to be pretty good ball players. Of course, whenever they go to the high school, they get in the weight room, and Terry Hill does a great job of developing those players, and that's what the high school program does a really good job of. So, but there's kids that they got a couple athletes out of that group, and a lineman or two that can help them in the future.
Now, Tyler, you took over after coaching under Coach Green, I believe.
Actually, there was a little bit of a gap there. I believe Coach Buster Brown, Thaxton Brown, whichever one people know him by. Everyone around here at Olive Springs knows him as Buster. He took over as head coach for 3 years, I believe, and won 2 championships during those 3 years. So, and then Coach Green had won a couple championships with the program as well. So, you know, I feel a little bit of pressure. I feel like it's time to get this program back on top.
Are you implementing the same system that the high school is running to try to prepare the young kids so they don't have to learn a whole new outfit when they get to high school?
Yeah, and that was a little bit of the reason behind the change in the coaching. I had been under Coach Green for so long that I really know the offense he wants to run, and so what we kind of did is I came down here and I started implementing it early. Now, I realized in middle school football it's a little bit harder to run the spread offense, so I do have some different sets, just a little bit different. But for the most part, we have kind of the same practice routine, and that's really helped. I think, for the transition, and that was kind of the goal behind it. We wanted to win championships at the middle school level, but I know at the high school level we're itching for a state championship around here, and I feel like our program has just gotten better in the last few years. And so, you know, I'm still real aligned with the high school guys. I feel helped a little bit on Friday nights. I talked to Coach Green from the press box, and so we're real aligned, and I like the way our programs go with each other right now.
Coach Harper, when do y'all open up the season, and who's it against?
We open up tomorrow night. Literally, I'm sitting here in the locker room putting our stickers on the helmets. So we open up tomorrow night at home versus Cherokee. We moved the kickoff back 30 minutes. We typically kick off at 7 in middle school. We moved it back to 7:30. A lot of us haven't had as much practice as maybe the high school. The high school got to practice in June. The high schools in Roane County got to practice in June, but we were shut down for June, and so we haven't had as many conditioning practices. So we kind of moved that back as a safety feature to, anytime you play with the sunlight down, even if it's just 30 minutes, that makes a big difference on kids. That sunlight takes a lot out of the kids, especially whenever it's hot and humid. So we all know what first games look like to a lot of programs, to a lot of football teams. You have cramping and different stuff, so we're hoping that'll help a little bit on that.
Right, it was pretty nice today. Had a breeze blowing, and it's starting to feel a bit more like fall about every day, but you know how the weather can change here in East Tennessee.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Hopefully the weather stays good and cool. It looks like at kickoff tomorrow the weather's going to be nice and cool, but I think there's going to be a little bit of storms before, so hopefully they get out of there before the game time, or hopefully they pass over and don't hit us at all. We just got done lining the field and everything, making it look real good. Our high school team opens at home on Friday night against Oneida, so we both got home games this week, so our group's just finished lining the field. The field looks real good, so hopefully we can keep it in good shape.
Hey, Tyler, do you have any numbers on what you're going to be allowed to have attend the games, and are you actually going to have a counter at the ticket stand counting heads? I mean, do you have any idea how that's going to go if we come, and it's up to capacity, or is there potential to have fans turned away this weekend?
All right, so what that looks like is the middle school level, you really don't get much past half capacity, most of the time anyway. So we're going to just do it with good faith. Hopefully, encourage social distancing. We're going to announce it over the intercom several times throughout the game, and we're also going to, make sure we enforce it as much as we can as we monitor outside the game. I won't be dealing with that a whole lot, but our administration, and we've got plans in place to, I think, do well with it. We're going to have some signage all around the field. Of course, from back in your days as an old super fan that we have a lot of people that like to watch football games from the fence, so that always helps. But everyone has to wear a mask. So now high school level, I do believe they've allotted a certain amount of tickets. I don't know the exact number, but it's the times we're living in, and we're all adjusting to it as best we can. And but at the end of the day, I'm just excited for the kids. I'm excited for these kids. These kids have they had to give up a lot. They've had to give up a lot during all this, and just I would do anything. If they told us we had to play with no fans, it'd have been real hard to do it financially. But I think about any coach out there, if they're in it for the right reasons, they have said, yeah, we'll make it work. Because at the end of the day, it's for the kids.
Okay. Coach Harper, we appreciate you calling in, and we wish you the best of luck this season and tomorrow night against Cherokee.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate it. I enjoyed being on here. Just want to say one quick thing. I want to thank my administration for all they do for us. I want to thank the high school coaching staff for all they do for us. I want to thank the Bobcat Nation, greatest fans in the world. I appreciate everything they do for this community, and I want to also give a shout-out to all my players for all the hard work they've put in. I'm looking forward to taking them into battle tomorrow night.
Good luck, Tyler, buddy. Go Bobcats.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. And we're previewing 5A football here tonight, and guys, there's 11 new coaches in 5A across the state, 5 in the East Tennessee area. Of course, Darrell Keith at Clinton. You also have Nick Craney at Central, the two-time defending champions. At Carter, you have Justin Presley, volunteer, Jesse McMillan, and at Cherokee, a new coach, Jason Lawson, taking over their head coach, recently he just left to become the offensive coordinator at Greenville. So 5 new coaches in East Tennessee in 5A football, and we want to look at the Oak Ridge Wildcats now. They went 6-6 last year, made it to the second round of the playoffs before they were eliminated by West, but they returned quite a bit. Quarterback Mitchell Gibbons, running back Kendall Jackson, already been offered by the University of Tennessee. So Jonathan Stewart, they've got a lot of players coming back, more experience. So the Wildcats are looking to challenge for the top spot in Region 3, Matt.
Yeah, and they have a good shot at it. They have for the last few years. It's just been last year. West was the team that no one expected to do as well. It was going to be between Powell and Oak Ridge. West surprised everyone. West graduated a lot. Oak Ridge retained a lot. So now it's going to be the top 2. I would still say are Powell and Oak Ridge for this coming year. Not sure which one's better than the other.
And I was fixing to say, Powell's coming with a lot too. But now Oak Ridge, the one thing Oak Ridge is not going to get, they're not going to get out-coached.
No.
And I mean,
right, you got a Hall of Fame coach, and Joe Gaddis.
Absolutely. So if it comes down to coaches with equal athletes, and you've got to give Oak Ridge the nod. I mean, you just have to.
And you see a lot of close games. That coach, and you'll see Oak Ridge pull it out. They know how to win. They've done it for years, and they're at Hardin Valley Friday night. They did lose a close one to them last year, a low-scoring game to Hardin Valley. It was 13-6. So the Wildcats looking to get some payback on the Hawks tomorrow night.
And Hardin Valley's still one of those newer schools, that doesn't have the deep tradition that Oak Ridge does, and I believe that matters. And I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth here, but Hardin Valley's coming into this game with a mindset that they hope they can win, and I feel like Oak Ridge is probably coming in with more of the mindset that they expect to win, instead of that hope that we can. I mean, they have an expectation and a standard at Oak Ridge that, Coach Gaddis, I've heard since he came back pretty much, his expectation is to rebuild the standard that Oak Ridge set. They've yet to reach that, but they've gotten better, I believe, each year.
Right. It's his second stint at Oak Ridge, and they went to the state championship. Well, they won the state championship in 1991, and I know Oak Ridge fans are just, dying to get back there. It's been about 30 years almost, so it's almost unheard of.
When Oak Ridge is rolling, and it's playoff football, and it's cold outside, you'll never find a more electric atmosphere than Blankenship Field in the playoffs.
Almost any game, you will not find a better atmosphere than Blankenship. And my dad's an Oak Ridge grad, so I've grown up watching both Clinton and Oak Ridge play. I have a lot of friends over at Oak Ridge. I respect that program. I can't say anything about Gaddis. Gaddis is a class coach. He knows what he's doing. He's had some bad luck the last couple of years trying to make it that far.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, it's interesting. TSSAA this week had a reclassification meeting, and for the next 2 years, they're going to have still keep 6 classes in high school football.
In Division I, they're still going to do the 3 classes in Division II as well.
So that's just for 2 years, but also with other sports, basketball, baseball, and softball, they are going to 4 classifications. So that is really big right there. But I'm glad to see them going to keep 8 teams for the basketball to go to Murfreesboro with the state tournament. So that's good news.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Guys, this used to be a really good show till you allowed that guy in the middle to start setting in on it and wearing that Florida hat. So somebody needs to have the guts to kick him off.
You want to come down here and help us out with that?
Now, come on, Queener. You know you like me.
Yeah,
What's going on, guys? It's high school football time, right?
Oh, I can't. Hey, I'm so fired up, man. I'm sitting here just trying my best to keep my composure together and not start hooping and hollering and try to get everybody fired up because it ain't time yet. But, man, it is here, baby.
That's what we got
It is. It's here. Hey, John, question. What are you predicting Friday night?
Well, we're going to have our predictions coming up here later in the show, so stay tuned for that. But as far as the Dragons, it's sort of a mystery. You know, you got a new coach, Coach Keith. I love him to death. I think he's going to turn the Dragons around. Of course, I'm a orange and black shaded glasses on all the time, but I really, there's just something about Coach Keith that it's a different vibe there, and I think he's going to get the job done at Clinton.
I can go ahead and tell you one of my picks. I will never pick the Bulldog over a Yellow Jacket a day in my life, ever.
Pick the Bulldog?
No, never will I do that.
What Bulldog?
Any Bulldog.
Wartburg.
Okay. Wartburg Bulldogs?
Yeah.
That's because people down Wartburg don't like you, and you know that. So
Oh, I know that well. It's the only stadium I've ever been ejected from.
John, I just want to say I agree with you. Coach Keith he seems like a really nice guy, and I've enjoyed a lot of conversation I've had with him. And I agree with you. I think he might be the right guy to turn Clinton's program around. I think he's under the gun a little bit just with the circumstances this year, coming back with the COVID stuff and not getting to have spring practice and then do some of the summer stuff. I'd say he's behind the 8 ball a little bit, but I hope the Dragons go up there and break that streak Friday night. They need to break that streak so it might start to resemble a rivalry again one day. So you guys are doing a good job. Keep it up.
Hey, David, before you go, that's a good point you brought out. No, behind the 8 ball, the no spring practice, but are you and Cox doing the high school scoreboard Friday night?
Yeah, we'll be there Friday night at 10 o'clock to do it. I guess we'll go as long as high school football goes. You know how that goes. But, yeah, we'll be there Friday night.
Well, y'all do a great job with that. I know everybody loves tuning in after Friday night and watch you guys break it down.
You keep picking on me, and I'll come over here and break the door down on y'all.
I heard that. All right. You guys have a good night.
All right, David.
Thanks, Queener.
Thanks, Queener.
Thank you. Well, let's go ahead and take our second break, our last break of the night, and we'll come back and talk some more sports. And you're watching the Locker Room Chat.
Now, Sleepy Queener.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We buy it on the spot and we pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Herman and Rockwood.
At Subaru, providing exceptional customer service is what we do best. and we've got the awards to prove it.
We've been recognized as Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. And again this year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. At Earl F. Subaru, we're more than just a car lot. We're a retailer you can love and one that gives back to local causes. Check out our reviews that come to Earl F. Subaru in Harriman.
All Outback, Forester, Ascent, Legacy, and Impreza models have available 0% financing during the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Earl Duff Subaru.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-thru for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
Football is back. And OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Welcome back to the locker room chat, and it's not only football time in Tennessee high school wise, but it's also volleyball and soccer. So we want to give the ladies a shout out here, and volleyball and soccer started Monday, and I got a chance to go see Anderson County play Tuesday and Clinton on Monday. So Anderson County defeated Farragut 3-1, and the Lady Mavericks, they were in the Final Four of the state last year, so they are primed and loaded to get back there, and they're legitimate state title contenders. They are led by Morgan McMurray, and she is a Trevica commitment, and she was nominated for the best player in the state last year, so she's the real deal. She's about 6'2" or 6'3", I believe, and she can put the kills down. She had like over 500-something kills last year, and she had some big ones the other night against Farragut. Also, Hannah Freeman. Those two girls there were mentioned as players to watch in the Knoxville area. And Freeman, she was the co-MVP last year of the district tournament, with Maddie Rowland. I believe it was the tournament or the season, but it might have been the tournament. But they led Anderson County to the state tournament for the first time since 2008, so they got a really good program there. Clinton played Carter. Carter ended up winning that 3-0. Lady Dragons, a young team. They have a real good freshman class coming up, and also the middle school there at Clinton, doing really well in volleyball. So just to give some volleyball scores. We had Elizabethton 3, Sullivan North 1. We had West over the Kings Academy 3-0. Of course, I mentioned AC over Farragut. Clinton last night, they won over Maryville Christian. Grace Christian over Gibbs, and Greenville over Elizabethton, and that's one of the Anderson County's big future opponents in the playoffs. Turn your attention to soccer. I didn't get a score. I know Anderson County was up on Livingston the other night late. I didn't get a final on that, and Clinton played Central. Did not see a score on that, but Oak Ridge, they lost to McMinn County 3-2. I know Oak Ridge usually got a pretty solid soccer program. And let's see here. You had Lakeway Christian over Harriman 8-1. Oneida over Webb 2-1. And Bearden over Powell 2-0, and Scott County over Oliver Springs 5. It's a nil. I guess that's what they say.
That means 0, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, we got a call here. Let's take another one.
Got a couple of them. Yeah.
Go ahead, Kyle. You're on there.
How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Good, good.
That's Jonathan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How are you
Mr.
doing?
Cox.
Can you believe we're playing high school sports?
Can't hardly believe it's here.
Been waiting all
It's
summer
about
for
time. These kids need normal life, and they need to be participating in things they love to do.
Exactly, and about 3 weeks ago they lifted the non-contact, and boom, you got 3 weeks to get ready, and it's here. So it's I just hope the players are ready, hope they're safe, and no injuries, just nobody gets sick, and just like you say, the kids need this. They need sports.
As an old coach that I used to work for says, son, you're 16, how can you be tired?
Absolutely. I can feel that one.
That's right.
Yeah, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. So, hey, I was calling just to get some predictions from y'all. Obviously, we get to call out the scores after the game and talk about the next week. But this week, the fans, if you've already did it, I've missed it. What do you see happening in that Oak Ridge Hardin Valley game? Have y'all talked about that?
We talked about it a little bit just a little while ago. I think I'm looking at Oak Ridge right there. I think they got a lot returning. I'm not sure about Hardin Valley. What do you know about the Hawks?
Hey, I coach Mike Potter was at Fulton for several state championships, and he's always a real good defensive mind. But I mean, from the things that we've been hearing and listening to reports, this might be one of the better Oak Ridge football teams. And since the team that Goldmeyer played on, they got beat. If you look at the history of Oak Ridge football since then, they've really not done any good. Really, I don't know if they've won maybe more than one or two playoff games in the postseason. Even Higgins, I think they got beat by Walker Valley early on, that team he played on. So if you listen to the people talk, I think if the quarterback's good this year, Oak Ridge could be really, really good.
Well, they got experience at quarterback. And what about some other teams over in the Knoxville area, Jonathan? I know you do some work for 5-Star Preps, and you host the high school scoreboard show here, and you do a great job. But is there any? We know about Powell and West and Central. Is any team over there coming up this year is going to be, maybe you think it'll be a surprise team in the Knoxville?
I don't know if there is necessarily going to be a surprise team. I think Powell's got a quarterback that grew up playing for the Baby Falcons and lives in Farragut and then ended up coming to Powell High School. He's a sophomore. He has been with the coach that's the offense coordinator at Powell for a while, so they know each other well. I think the key for Powell is how good's their quarterback going to be. Of course, those wide receivers might be so good that the quarterback just get it near them and they'll be okay. But they lost a lot on defense as well. West, I think they return a lot. They return the quarterback. They return the mattress kid at running back. I think they return quite a few starters on defense.
Who would
but
you
then
pick?
I think the one you can't. Go ahead.
Who would you pick? Who are you picking to win that region? You got West and Powell and Oak Ridge right there. That's a toss-up.
I think Oak Ridge is the most talented team. If I was picking off talent, of course, we ain't got to see anybody this year, so it's hard to say. But I think Oak Ridge overall is the most talented football team. It's one of those things. West was the one on top last year at the end of the playoffs from that group. But I was about to say you really can't discount Central because the quarterback they've got coming in actually has a better arm and is a better passer of the football than the Farver kid. I don't know if y'all watch Central play, but I don't know if he can complete a pass more than 7 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. But he's a two-time state champion. So I think losing roster and seeing how that offense works is a big question mark, but I think Central obviously should be good again. So it's gonna be funny in 5A. 5A football for years was really, really bad, and for the last 2 or 3, it's been the best in town. But the amount of talent right now that's sort of going around is pretty impressive if you look back for the years of Division I talent here in Knoxville. So it's going to be interesting to see. What about the Clinton AC game? I don't know much about either one of those teams other than AC's got the best team they've ever had in school history. But what are y'all hearing about those two teams in that game Friday night?
Well, about Clinton, like you know, they have the new coach, new offense, new defense. The whole thing is new this year. They've returned several key players from last year and several surprising
I'm having a hard time
players.
hearing you guys.
It's Matt talking. He said Clinton's returning several.
They've got several key returns. They've got several new guys who didn't play as much last year that are ready. You've got some guys who didn't play at all last year, one due to injury.
Hey, Sleepy, I can't hear him.
Having trouble hearing Matt.
Is this it?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. What I was trying to say is that Clinton's they've got a whole new team. They got a brand new offense, defense, and they're returning a lot of players that have had some game time. They've also got some new players who didn't get as much time last year, but they're going to play some key roles for them this year.
Got some transfers from Oak Ridge that's going to help.
Who is he? Is he the running? It's not the running back, is it?
Yeah, running back, and I think maybe a receiver.
Is the running back the one that had an offer from maybe an SEC school or Power 5?
No, I don't know. That's
okay.
No, it's not him. No.
That kid's still at Oak Ridge.
Right. Yeah, Kendall Jackson.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackson. That's right. Yeah. So I had somebody ask me this question the other day, and I know they were giving me a hard time, and I said, "Oh, don't go there again." They said, "No, seriously, I want you to answer the question Friday night on the call-in show, and I want all three of y'all to answer this question, and I'll give my opinion on the show Friday night. Who has more pressure on them this year, Coach Keith or Coach Gillum?"
I would say Coach Gillum. We got a lot of talent.
Why do you think, and why would you think that is? You think it's just state championship or bust this year after what all we've heard about this football team?
Yes, that's what I would say. I think Coach Keith is more or less, I would call this maybe year zero, because he didn't have no spring practice, and a new coach coming in, and I'm sure he feels a little pressure to win. He wants to win, and it's key that he does win. But I think a little bit more of the pressure is on Coach Gillum, just trying to get over that hump, which is Greenville.
Now, have they made it? Anderson County, I don't know if they've made it. Have they made it to the semifinals since they've been 4A, or they've been eliminated? I guess they've been eliminated in the second or third round, right?
They've only made it to the third round. They haven't made it to the semifinals since going down to 4A yet.
Okay. I got you. I knew it had been a while, and they've won a lot of football games, but I think they've done a good job of beefing up their schedule to help them for those postseason runs. But, I think the question is, when will they get over the hurdle to beat Elizabethan Elizabethan or Greenville. So, I'm interested. I need to do a little research on Coach Keith before I give my answer and go over all that. But what do you think, Matt? Do you think Coach Gillum has more pressure on him than Coach Keith?
That's a hard one to answer, just because no one knows as much about Coach Keith being brand new here, so they don't really know what to expect. And like you said, Coach Gillum says he has the best team he's really ever had. I would almost lean with Sleepy and say that it's on Coach Gillum this time.
Hey, Jonathan, we got burned through these predictions. We got 4 minutes, brother.
All right, you all be good. Have a good night.
Hey, we'll talk to you Friday night.
Yeah, thanks for calling in.
I'm going to try to come up and catch a little bit of that Clinton game before I head to the show. So Clinton AC, so it should be a good one. However, I will have to pick the Mavericks in that game to be probably 24 to 28 point favorites.
Well, I hope it's that close.
Hey, thanks, Jonathan.
See ya.
See you, bye.
All right, let's run through these predictions real quick. We got 10 games we're going to pick every week. And first game's Pickett County at Oakdale. I'll go with the Oakdale Eagles.
I'm taking Pickett County on that one.
And I'll agree with Sleepy on this one and go Oakdale.
Pickett County's lost 9 straight coming in.
Oakdale's only got a few players.
Pickett County has never made the playoffs. But Oneida at Oliver Springs. Last year this game went in 4 overtimes.
In the mud hole.
With the Indians winning, I'll go with the Indians winning again. I think Oliver Springs, they've lost quite a few players, so I'll go with Oneida.
Give me the Bobcats.
I'll agree this time and go Bobcats with this one.
Rockwood at Midway. Give me Rockwood. This year they return several players, so look for an improved Tiger team.
I'm with you on that. Give me Rockwood all the way.
Let's make it a clean sweep with Rockwood.
All right.
Cofield at Wartburg, Matt.
I'll go with Cofield on this one.
I'm taking the Yellow Jackets.
I'm going to go with Wartburg in an upset.
We can't
At home,
be friends.
They played Cofield.
Are you going to come back next week?
Played Cofield tough last year. Kingston at Harriman. Ogle Elrod and the game of the week. Wallace Blackfield. Give me the Yellow Jackets.
I'm taking the Yellow Jackets as well.
Clean sweep with the Yellow Jackets.
Oak Ridge at Hardin Valley. Give me the Wildcats.
I agree, 100%. Revenge is in the air.
Actually, Oak Ridge won that game last year. They lost 2 years ago. I'm going to go with Hardin Valley on this one.
Gibbs at Halls tomorrow night. Rivalry Thursday. Eric.
I'm taking Halls. Got all them transfers in there. I bet Halls is loaded to bear this year.
Halls, they've got 99 kids out. I'm going with the Red Devils.
I'm going with Halls, and best of luck to the 2 Clinton transfers over to Halls.
Heritage at Lenore City. Interesting here. Heritage has lost 25 straight games. Lenore City has lost 10 straight.
Let's make it 26. Take the Panthers.
Lenore City.
I'll take Lenore City as well. No, I'll change it. I'll give me a Heritage. They're gonna break that streak.
All
They're
right.
in a tougher region. Give me the Mountaineers. Science Hill at Elizabethton, going up into Upper East Tennessee. The Cyclones picked for many to win the 4A.
I'm going with Elizabethton.
I'm taking the alma mater of Steve Spurrier. Give me Science Hill.
I'll take the Cyclones. And the final game, Clinton at Anderson County, the big game here in the county. Matt?
I'm going to go with Clinton. I'm going to bring out one of their new helmets for this year, too.
Dragons with the new helmets.
I want Clinton to win, but I'm picking the Mavs.
I'm going to have to take the Mavericks. This is not the year for the Dragons, but 31-14 AC. Thanks, everyone, for calling in, and thank you for watching the Locker Room Chat.